Hello friends, and welcome to something a little bit different and weird. So, I like Energon Wing Saber. You can tell from up there. I actually do really like Energon Wing Saber. The one major complaint that I have with him, other than the lack of proper articulation, is the fact that his toes are a pain in the butt. Those things make getting him on a shelf really obnoxious. They make getting him, because he's tall, so he should probably go behind other figures, but when he's behind them, then they, bump into the toes, and the toes get in the way of having other figures stand close to him, and it's just a mess. And I was seeing these photos online of wing sabers with shorter toes, and I couldn't quite figure out what was going on there. And then I decided, what the heck, let me mess around with Wing Saber some more, and I figured out what it was. So, inclination is to rotate the foot around, which would make sense, because then you get a heel, and the toes get more flat, and if this slid forward like this, it would be perfect. That's not actually what you do, and you end up with this massive heel that ends up taking way too much space anyway. Now, apparently, what you do is you just pop his toes off. They just come right out. They're pegged in, and it's weird because you can see there are little pinholes in the pegs and the ends of the toes there, they were meant to be pinned in at one point, and then they just weren't. So, yeah, you just unpeg his toes. That's all you gotta do. And once his toes are unpegged, he's got much, much better feet that don't take up a ton of space on the shelf. As for what to do with the toes, there are a couple of things that I've come up with. One is you can just kind of shove them in the backs of his legs there, which does work, but then if you tilt him back, they'll just fall right out. So you got to be really careful to keep him kind of up or tilted forward when you're handling him. So that's not a great fit. You can't really, they're a little too thick to fit into his thighs. So that doesn't work. So what I've actually done, which I think works pretty darn well, is, let's get his arms out of the way there, is I just take them and put them into his hip skirt section there. And that actually works surprisingly well. By putting them up here, they kind of fill out his waist a little bit. They just taper it in a little bit more, add a little bit more detail, even if it's not official, and you don't really even notice that the toes are there, and because of the fact that they're sitting inside this big thing, you can tilt them forward, and they're not going to shake out easily. So yeah, there he's got toes that allow him to fit on a shelf better, and it fills out his waist a little bit. And that's that. It's surprisingly easy. I don't know if it's because everyone was reviewing this guy when he was new at the time and nobody knew about it or what, but I don't know. I just figured this might make a difference to some people who have an Energon Wing Saber and have been having issues getting him on the shelf. You may also already know about this because I did see photos of eBay listings and I think a few photos on TFW that showed him with his toes removed, so I don't know if that was an intentional thing that people were doing or if it was just that the toes popped off over time and people lost them, but that's a thing you can do. So, hope that helps. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.